Okay, perfect.
Myself here.
All right, well, we're here today with Justin Vicars and my dear friend Donald Wardle as well. Justin is going to show us Coyntrader. And Justin, how long have you been using Coyntrader?
Yeah, I've been using, hi Nikki, and hi everybody, nice to be here. It's always great to be jumping on a call with you. I mean, we always have a good life, and there's always something new to learn, which on both sides. So just to tell you a little bit about Coyntrader, I was introduced to Coyntrader just on sort of a good 3 months ago from a good friend of mine, actually a very, very good friend of mine. Is actually the person who's actually developed and is behind the entire system. His name is Justin Vicars. He's out of the States. We met through a company called, I don't know if you've heard of the company called CWE, and we met in that program. And what we found was the problem with automated systems is the parameters are always set either too high or you're just not getting the returns that you want. And he decided that he was going to go out there and build a system that actually benefited the everyday person like you and me, ones that aren't really traders but want to take advantage of the Bitcoin and of sort of cryptocurrencies. And he's put as far as I can believe and see, he's put such a program together that basically, whether you're a novice or whether you're an experienced trader, vice versa, you can still benefit hands down on the system itself. I mean, it's been designed to put money in your pocket. And 9 times out of 10, the only time that you will actually lose through Coyntrader is either by you selling it or by you not actually putting in the right parameters. And we've been doing some testing on that, and I'll walk you through it shortly now, exactly what it's done and how it's done for me. And yeah, it's for me, it's a phenomenal program. It's basically, once it's set up, you have to check in with it every now and then, but you can go to bed at night, turn your PC off, and know that the system's going to work for you. That's the bottom line.
That's what I need, because I've been reading about trading, and I just feel like that is not going to become my forte, if you know what I mean. So automated really works for me. Those are like magic words for me.
Well, you know what works for me is, I mean, especially with crypto, I mean, it's a 24/7 sort of, and cryptocurrency is 24/7 sort of trading. It's not like your sort of Forex, which closes at 5 o'clock and then sort of opens up again the following morning. I mean, this is constant. It just is around the clock. And what I found a lot of the time is that you end up having to spend a lot of time behind your PC with multiple tabs open, watching the different indexes. And, you know, AI just thinks a lot faster, can calculate a lot faster, and it can sort of trigger off that sell far quicker than you and I can put together can actually do it at. And it does it within milliseconds. And when I was sort of trading in it, I was sort of realizing that you're sort of thinking about, should I or shouldn't I sell it? Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? And by the time you've actually made that decision, you've actually either lost the sell and undersold, or you bought and overbought at the wrong price. And it was just, I mean, I've seen people burn their accounts so badly when it comes to that. And you need something that does what it says it does. And quite honestly, in my opinion, Coyntrader is hands down the best bot trading system out there for your for your sort of for your spend. Yeah, hands down, it is phenomenal.
Oh, and I would like to interject and tell everybody that Justin and I met through another program that's no longer running, but Justin used to do videos to teach us how to market on Facebook, which he's really, really good at. I mean, he's like a jack of all trades. And so I had, on one of my Facebook pages, I put out a post, does anybody trading or mining have, some good experience? And Justin got a hold of me, and that's how this has all come together. I joined BTCR because he recommended that company to me. And now and he also told me about Coyntrader. So I'm really excited that we're going to get a bird's eye view of somebody actually using the program and very knowledgeable on how the bot works. So you may show us your screen anytime, Justin.
Okay, fantastic. I'm going to start sharing now then. Let me just pull up that and okay, bring up the one screen now. And this is just this is our dummy side. It hasn't been set up to go. I just want to take you through the system and all of that, just so that you get a better understanding of what it. So what you do once you sign up to Coyntrader, what you've got is you've got a dashboard, you've got your terminals, your logs, your analytics, your providers, balance, your settings. There are tutorials that are built in, and then there's a customer support, and I mean you've got some other fancy features.
And how is the support, Justin? Are they pretty good?
Justin is phenomenal. Justin Pelletzi, my friend Justin, is phenomenal. He actually handles the support himself.
Wow.
So what he does is he basically does this full time. He sits down behind it. He actually builds the algorithms, as well as, if you have a look over here, your providers. So what he's done is he's put together a whole lot of certain signals. Now, what I found with a lot of trading bots is, I mean, I don't want to go out and badmouth any of them, but what I've found is there's always an additional cost. So you have to go and buy the bot rights to use the bot. And then if you want signals, there's an additional cost and so forth. And it actually ends up being hell of expensive. What Justin's done is he's built the Coyntrader itself, and then he's actually gone ahead and he's fine-tuned all of the algorithms to give us the best return. And you can see he's set up different bots over here. Like you've got your BDC boss signals, then you've got your top notch, then you've got your swing trade signals, and you've got your USD tether signals. My screen would actually go down.
And that's all Greek to me.
It's all Greek to me as well. And so what he's done is he's over here, I beg your pardon, here is the USD. He had two different signals now, so he's merged them together as one. So he's got the top-notch signals, and basically there's two price packages, there's 2 price points on this. Is the $49 or $39 a month monthly fee. This is all included. You get the signals, you get the bots, and that, or you can take out the annual package, which I think, I stand to be corrected, we can have a look at the price now when you go through the pricing, but I think it's around about $444 for the whole year. That includes the signals as well as the group, as well as training and all of that. And what I found with a lot of the other systems is that you're paying anywhere from sort of $50, $60 upwards per month, and then additional signals, which never really worked for me. It's just like you're chopping and changing.
And then on top of that, you've got whatever you're going to whatever amount you're going to start trading with, right?
And then you need your BDC and your wallet to start trading with. So in this sense, you sort of know that you've got a fixed amount of $39 a month that you've got to pay, or you pay it once off and you sort of set and forget. And then whatever's in your Binance, you sort of go ahead with. Now, so just to basically give you an idea, there are 3 components that you need, or 2 components that you need for Coyntrader. One is you need the Coyntrader account, and he's currently offering a 7-day free trial. So there's no strings attached. You can hook up your Binance to it. You can fire it off and you can get it started. And after 7 days, and what's beautiful about this is after 7 days, if you realize that this isn't really working for you, and there are a couple of trades open, all of those trades will close out. The money will go back into your account, and until you decide to use Coyntrader again, you basically then have to set up and pay for your monthly subs. So you basically get a full 7 days to try it out. If their trades are open after your 7 days and you're not ready to purchase, you just let it carry on running and it will sort of cash out. And once the trades are closed, your money's back in your Binance account.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, which is really, really fantastic. So just to give you an idea, so here's your dashboard. This will give you what your assets were, your average trading profit, and so forth. You've got your, this is for the more experienced users. This is your sort of manual trades where you can set in your BDC amounts, your position sizes, how many units you want to get, your take profits, and all of your stop losses and that. I don't really deal with this because this gets a little bit over my head, and I'm really not one of those traders that go, oh, I want to sit here and watch the grass go up, and I've got better things to do with my life to worry about that. What I do is I go for the sort of the providers, and what I've been very successful with is with the top-notch signal providers. And what you do is you just basically click connect, and it's connected, and I go through my settings, and it's very simple. So what you can do over here is you've got your Binance sizes, your Bitcoin. Currently what I've been doing is I've been using Bitcoin as well as the USD Tether, because they've been doing USD Tether's been doing very, very well in the sort of volatile market. And normally on average, we sort of set in at 0.000, a couple of decimals over there, 0.003 if I'm not mistaken. And you can set whatever your USD tether is up at any sort of, if you want to go in at $20 or $30, you can set those up. You go through there.
So is that like a minimum and a maximum? I'm sorry, you're talking to somebody that I have no idea what this means. You know?
Okay, yes, there is a minimum buy-in. So what it is the minimum amount is, double check over here.
Okay. Now I see.
There we go.
Good.
Your minimum value that you can buy in is 0.001. That will open up a trade for 0.001 of Bitcoin. And if I'm not mistaken, that's around about $10 to $7, give or take, depending on the exchange rate for Bitcoin to USD. But it's around about $10 a shot.
Okay.
With your tether, you can basically, I think with tethers is exactly the same. It's actually 10. Your minimum is 10 sort of tether coins at a time. So that sort of stuff. You've got all your different parameters over here, your price set, and all that. I'm going to take you through the one I've already set up on my account, but just to give you an idea of how simple it is. And then once you got your positions, your take profits, so you can say I want to make sure that I get 0.75% on quantity of 100. And basically that will do is, well, as soon as it's opened as trade, it will then open up, and as soon as it hits 0.75, it will basically sell out the coin and give you on average 0.6% profit take on the coin. So where a lot of trading bots won't do anything under sort of a 1.50% trade profit. A lot of them won't let you set anything below this, where he says, I'm prepared to take 0.5% all day, every day on every single trade. So if you're trading with $1, you're basically getting 10 cents back, well, you're getting sort of 5 cents on every trade, which is, if you're doing that all day long, it adds up pretty quick and pretty fast, rather than waiting for the Bitcoin to actually climb up, or for the pairing to climb up to a certain percentage where you could actually be losing days on the trade. So let me just minimize this. You can see the screen here, right?
Yeah.
You can see with all the greens now. You can see I started over here. We did the Vibe and the BTC at 0.55. It gave me a take profit of 0.4.
Did you just switch screens? Because we're still seeing the same screen.
Are you still seeing the same screen? Okay, let me just, I'm going to stop sharing on that one, and I'll start sharing on this one here. Sorry about that.
No, don't be sorry. That's something with Zoom. It doesn't like switching like that.
You can see the ones with all the green figures now, right?
Yeah, whoa.
Okay, so as you can see, the take profits are reasonable. I mean, there's a 0.55, 0.5, 1.20, 1.3, 1.4, 1.15, 1.21. And as you can see, as we go up, I mean, now here, these were sold manually. That was me testing the system and checking it all out and making sure that if I did lose, this is when we were testing it. And as you can see, a couple of losses over there, the red ones. And as you can see on the side here, they're all sold manually. So, I mean, that's me selling out in the negative, rather than actually just letting the system do what it says it does. Now, you can see we were starting to test with some trailing stop losses. And what happened was the parameters I had set in were too low. So it sold out at 0.12%. But because of Binance's fees, it put me into a negative red. You can see over there. So that was all done right. The system did what it was asked to do, but that was just because of my parameters were set too low. So it actually ended up taking a small knock. Same with this one over here. That's a trailing stop loss. The same sort of thing. My parameters weren't set. As you can see, it sold out there on a 0.00. but as you can see, I mean, there's way more greens to reds.
And how long did it take you to learn how to use the bot and like where to start and where to do your stops and all that? Because that's where I'm scared I'm going to just totally mess up.
Okay, so if you look over here, next, if you have a look over here at the top, not signals, USD pairing, and tether pairing. Now he's basically given you recommend settings. So your take profit 0.75.
Wow.
I don't really like to use the stop loss just because of the volatility at the moment. But as a newbie, if you're open to it, you can take an 8% negative or a loss. If it goes negative 8%, the system will sell out. So you're actually going to end up losing sort of -9, -10 because of the percentage. But I very rarely use the stop loss. And the reason being is if it doesn't go into the red with crypto, I mean, it's inevitably going to bounce back. So as soon as it goes into the red, I look at it as an overdraft facility. I've loaned somebody money. It's going to come back to me. I just got to be able to, as the expression is, hold or hodl.
Right. You be patient. Yeah. Yeah.
You got to be patient. I mean, I think you start panicking. But if you think of it, if you're risking $10 and it goes -99, so you lose $10. But there are so many other trades that will make up for it. But I'm really not too perturbed about the small sort of 1 or 2 losses that you make, because inevitably in the long term you can actually make it up. So he's giving you all the signals to set in here. The maximum concurrent positions 8 to 10. Now the reason why we put 8 to 10 in is that if you're trading with a Bitcoin, you don't want the system to go out and buy $10 on your entire Bitcoin and have 1,000 trades open at once. So what we're doing is we're sort of hedging the bet. We're not opening up all the trades at once. We're not using all of your equity in trades. So you're taking around about 10% or 1% of your equity and you're trading at that specific point in time. So every 10 trades is 1% of your equity if you have a Bitcoin, give or take. Minimum value of Bitcoins in trade, it must carry a minimum of 75 Bitcoins on that coin. There must be a trade volume of 75 Bitcoins. And then the expiration date is 30 minutes. And the reason why we do that is it can come out and say, okay, well, there's a great, the signals fired off and says that Dash coin is going to go on a bit of a rally. And it opens up a trade, but maybe there's not enough volume on that coin at the moment for people to sell you their Dash coin. So it could take up to sort of a minute, 2 minutes actually for that order to be filled. Now, the problem with that is that once it hits the 2-minute mark, it's either going up or going down, and you bought in at a higher price than what you expected to buy in at. So you could actually end up losing because it took longer to buy. So we put an expiration date, excuse me, of sort of 30 minutes. So you give yourself a bit of leeway, but it also then runs into the signal itself. So if I have a look at my settings over here, okay, so at the time I was using USD Tether. I was operating with 20 coins at a time. My expiration day was set on 30 minutes. I was sort of 0.75. Maximum positions 8. I was prepared to go with 65 coins volume. Limit positions of any 2-1 coins. So we'd never open up we'd never buy 4 sets of Dash coins at any one given time. If there were 2 signals fired off or 4 signals fired off for Dash, and I already had 2 open, I would reject the rest of those signals just because I don't want to carry too many of Dash coin and actually run the risk of it going belly up. Then some of the coins I don't like, I was able to blacklist certain coins. So we'd tell the bot, listen, if XLM comes up, don't buy, or if XPR comes up, don't buy. I can also tell the system I can also whitelist exactly the same thing, which coins I want to whitelist and actually only purchase those coins. So if I've got preferential coins that, let's say I'm very prone to Ripple or Monero, I can actually only trade with those coins by setting up my whitelist and actually running through with it. So in a sense, it's very clean, it's very simple, and there's not too much rocket science behind it.
Well, it seems like it to me, but that's me because I'm like, this is so different. And let me ask you, is it possible for several of us to open an account, one of us manage it obviously, and then have your wonderful expertise to help us so that we don't mess up worse than I could do on my own?
You know, that is something that you look. That's where it becomes a little bit scary and a little bit hairy. You've got to, and we've done it a couple of times where we've got in together, and the one thing is it's all built on trust, Nick. So, you know, I mean, if you're happy with somebody managing the Binance account and everybody putting their sort of share into the Binance account and somebody monitoring it, I mean, there is no problem with that. You can have one account split amongst 4 people and you're all contributing to one Binance account and trading with that. That's something that you're going to have to set up and discuss amongst yourselves. Mm-hmm. But I don't see why you can't have one account and one Coyntrader account, and you basically, I mean, it would just make more sense to have one account managed by 4 people. But that is that sort of that trust factor that happens amongst you and your colleagues or whoever's doing it. So,
well, Donald and I run in a lot of the same circles, and when one program was up, I was managing a bunch of accounts. We have 10 more minutes, okay, and I was able to. I mean, I had access to many Luno account, different wallets, and so my friends know, and I didn't do. I mean. Yeah, they still know I have access. I mean, I don't have access now, but I still have. Somebody will call me and go, "Hey, what was my password for this wallet?" And I'll be like, "Just a minute, let me go look."
Sure. I mean, those are things you need to do. But I mean, just with your Luna, with your Binance, I mean, everything is set up in your Binance. So you just basically, where is my Binance? I think so. So everything is in your Binance.
Okay. I'll ask. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, I mean, it's basically just setting up once you've got your group Binance, everybody puts their funds in as long as they just keep a record of what they put in. So if you're going to start trading with $100 each, you all know that there's $400 in and you need to cover your sort of monthly scripts. So if it's $39 divided by 4 people, it's roughly $8 per person that come out of your money, comes out of your sort of amount, and you put the $400 or $500 in, you can start trading on that, and you can manage your Coyntrader like that. And I'm more than happy to sit with you and set it all up and give you access to our sort of Coyntrader community, where if Justin says there's a new signal or if this is what's happening, he sits and he tweaks and make sure that all the providers are running at optimal sort of give back to the community.
Wow.
But yeah, it's possible to do that. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Yeah, this was I opened up a Skype room, a couple of years ago, I guess it's been now, Donald, right? And my goal was to find experienced traders or miners, and we would all just pool our money. Didn't have to be all the same, but we would equally distribute any profits. And because of my situation, I'm on here all the time anyway. And even though I don't understand all this at the moment, that would be my contribution, would be to help everybody or manage the account. I mean, not that I would share it if somebody else wants to see what's going on, but I'm always here. I've got friends that go, "Hey, can you manage my account? Because I don't have time." Yeah, sure, no problem. So that's where I'm at. And I would rather work as a group because that's what I'm all about, community, which is why I love BTCR so much as well.
Well, you see, for me it was a big learning curve, and what I had to sort of come to grips with is, as much as, I mean, if you're looking to make a living off Coyntrader at 0.5% per trade, you need to have a substantial amount in trade, if that makes any sense. So if you've only got $100, it's really no point starting it off on $100 because it's not going to give you the returns that you're looking for, if that makes any sense, because you're doing 10 trades at a time. And now sometimes what people misunderstand about it or miss the boat on it, as much as the system fires off at that specific point in time and it's met all the criteria and the parameters of certain trades, we don't control this. We don't control the exchange. So while the signals are all saying, yeah, it's a green light, this coin's going to rally, until it starts moving, we don't know. So your coin, you could buy the coin now, and it sort of could go up to around about, argument's sake, positive 0.35, and you set your parameters to sell at 0.75, and it makes it 0.65, but it just doesn't cross that threshold, and it drops back down to a negative. That negative could take 4 days to close out. It could take a week to close out. And so those are in terms the internal risks that you do run. But inevitably, like I said, you've got to have to hold that coin to sell out before it actually gets to that sellout point that you are prepared to sort of wait. I mean, I've had some coins sit here for a couple of, I think for 2 weeks. And eventually I got to the point that I was just bored, not to, you know, I'm going to take the loss and actually get the coin back into circulation. Have a look over here. Where's my log? I mean, these coins over here were at one stage negative 40, and I just got bored, and I sold them out at negative 18. Sure, I lost a little bit, but you know, I'd rather get the coin back into a trade and actually get it running rather than actually not have it doing anything at all for me.
Understood.
Yeah.
So, Donald, do you have any questions? Because we're about to run out of time.
No, I'm just becoming wiser and wiser and wiser.
I'm becoming wise enough to know that Justin is amazing and I need his help.
That you will get you every energy.
No, I'm serious, darling, because I wanted to find an experienced trader or miner. Yeah, I'm still into the mining, but yeah, I'm just so grateful because you're just so knowledgeable, and this does scare me. I won't lie to you, but I think it's the way to go, rather than relying on a MLM program or a Ponzi, running into another Ponzi scheme, you know, stuff like that. So, yeah.
What I was saying to Donald in the beginning was that, I mean, I got into trading relying on traders. Let me rephrase that. Well, I don't want to blacken all traders' names because I don't believe they're all out there to rip people off. But in 2017, I mean, we lost close to almost sort of 50,000 USD combined between certain trading houses. Mm-hmm. One was we actually don't know whether it was a local or a state-driven trader that sort of did very well. I mean, I'm not lying. It's not that I didn't make money, but you know, that potential earning when they do disappear when it's time to pay out. I mean, that was close to sort of 18, 19, almost 32,000 USD. And there was a company outside of Australia that yet again another sort of 18 to 20,000 USD that sort of disappeared. I was part of UGI in Germany that was also a trading house, and yeah, come to cash out at the end of the day, and then all of a sudden you get an email saying, well, this company's been found to be fraudulent, they've closed down terribly, so you lost your money. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah. And you know, it gets a little bit painful after a while, and it gets a little bit disheartening. And hence why I started looking for companies like CWE, which is phenomenal. But I mean, their packages start off at $500 sort of, and then go up to $2,000, and there's caps. I mean, with Coyntrader, there is no cap. If you want to trade, if you've got 5 Bitcoin in your wallet, you want to trade all 5 Bitcoin, you don't have to keep upping your sort of license. The license is open-ended for as long as you have it. If you want to trade 1 Bitcoin or you want to trade 100 Bitcoins, the system's there for you to do that. So there's no cap on that. But for me, what's nice about this is that I know where my Bitcoin is sitting. And even if it does go red, so I lose on the trade, but it's all done through Binance. I mean, all that Coyntrader does is facilitates the signals and triggers the buy and sell. And that's what it does for me.
Yeah, that is awesome. I have one more question before we go. Okay, let's say that we have a group of 3. What do you feel is the minimum amount we should start trading with in Coyntrader?
My suggestion would start off with $100 each, and say, okay, you need to go with $100 each. And what that does is means that you've got more trades happening at once. If you start off with $100 and you look at it, that's 10 trades at the $10 a trade. You've got 10 trades happening at once, and it takes a week for those 10 trades to sell out. You haven't really made money, but with the surplus cash in the background, you've always got money going into the trade and opening and closing, opening and closing.
Okay.
And then it also gives you the ability to split sort of 150 in Bitcoin and 150 in USD Tether. And then what you're doing is you're leveraging both sides of the market.
Okay, sounds good. Listen, everybody, if you're interested in partnering with us to trade on Coyntrader, we've got a wonderful expert who will be walking us through, or helping me or whoever set up the account and set up the bot. And I would definitely go through the training videos. I mean, I'll eat this up because I'm really interested in it. But please get back to me. My information will be below from the video. And Justin, I just can't thank you enough. And this probably won't be the only time we'll ask you to walk us through, possibly. But Donald, do you have anything else? I know we had a couple other people that were going to join us that just couldn't make it for whatever reason. So, Donald, anything else?
Yeah, you touched